Alright y'all, let's talk about something insane. What if Mark Grayson, aka Invincible, had access to Dragon Ball Z's Hyperbolic time chamber? Would he become the strongest being in fiction? Would he evolve even past Viltrumite biology? Would Omni-Man even be able to recognize him? Because look, in the Invincible comics, Mark becomes the strongest Viltrumite to ever live at a stupidly young age. And if you know anything about Viltrumites, that means a lot. Viltrumites get stronger as they age and live for thousands of years. That means Mark, who's barely 20, hasn't even scratched the surface of his potential. So imagine him spending hundreds, maybe even thousands of years inside of a hyperbolic time chamber. Let's break this down because the math on this is actually terrifying. First, let's talk about why Viltrumites are already one of the most overpowered races in fiction. They get stronger the longer they live, have nearly infinite stamina, endurance, and durability. They can survive in space without oxygen. They can adapt to nearly any combat scenario over time, and they can casually punch people into the moon. Omni-Man himself is over 2,000 years old. Thrag, over thousands of years old. Meanwhile, Mark is barely 20, and by the time he's just in his mid-20s in the comic, he's already the strongest Viltrumite to ever live. Now, let's add the time chamber logic to this. One day in the real world equals 1 year in the chamber. The chamber is designed to push the body to its absolute limit, enhances both mental and physical combat abilities. It forces warriors to grow beyond their natural limit. Now apply that to Mark Grayson. Let's say Mark just spends 1 week in the time chamber. That's 7 years of training. Already terrifying. Now let's say he stays for an entire month. That's 30 years of training. Those are already old man, Omni-Man levels of strong. Now let's say Mark stays inside for a full year. That is 365 years of combat training while still keeping his young body. See the problem now? The crazy part about this is that Viltrumites naturally get stronger over time. So Mark wouldn't just be training, he'd be evolving. His biology would start adapting to the chamber's conditions, meaning he'd grow faster, stronger, and more durable than any Viltrumite before him because of the chamber, because of the enhanced gravity inside of the time chamber. After spending centuries inside the chamber, Mark would probably come out as something beyond a Viltrumite. His durability would be near invincible. His regeneration might advance near instant healing. His speed would go from planet level to full-on universe travel. His strength, probably enough to one-shot Thrag effortlessly. But here's where things get scary. If Mark spends hundreds of years training alone, would he even come out the same person? His personality would change entirely. He might not relate to humans anymore. His emotions completely fade away. He might stop caring about Earth and become something closer to a god. Hyperbolic time chamber doesn't just train your body, it changes you. Mark might come out looking at life completely differently. Would he still care about his mother, his friends, Eve? Or would he just become a being that sees everything as temporary because he's lived for centuries while they age normally? It's definitely hard to say whether or not Mark would be able to maintain his sanity after training in the time chamber for that long. But the real question here is, how strong could Mark actually get? Now let's just assume Mark trains for 500 years inside the chamber. Bro would easily surpass every single Viltrumite in history. Stronger than Thrag? Absolutely. Stronger than Omni-Man? No question. Stronger than any known force in the Invincible universe? 100%. Would he start? I honestly think it would be safe to say that he could even start rivaling Dragon Ball characters after this training session. Mark's evolution wouldn't just make him the strongest Viltrumite, it would push him into an entirely new category of power, something the Invincible universe isn't even built to handle. He'd become a warrior who has lived through centuries of non-stop combat, a being whose body has adapted to extreme conditions beyond what Viltrumites were designed for. At that point, Mark wouldn't just be unstoppable, he would truly be invincible. At the end of the day, if Mark trained inside the hyperbolic time chamber, he would become so strong that the Viltrum Empire itself would be irrelevant. He'd be a being beyond even Thrag, beyond Omni-Man, beyond every warrior before him. And if he kept training for thousands of years in the chamber, he might even reach the level of cosmic god. But the real question is, would he want that power? Or would he come out so disconnected from humanity that he stops caring about Earth entirely? Let me know in the comments what you think would happen if Invincible had access to the hyperbolic time chamber. Would he stay the same, or would he become something else entirely? If you enjoyed the video, you can let me know by leaving a like and joining the Discord. The link will be in my description. Also consider donating to the channel so we can increase the amount of uploads that we have for you guys every week. Let me know what other topics you'd like to see Invincible videos from me about. Thank you for watching. I love and appreciate you all. Peace.